Tonight, first-year phenoms lead the way.
Plus, the men's lacrosse team's early season challenges continue.
A lot to get to today, so thank you for joining us. Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster.
Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Wilson, joined by Nate Bradley. Let's kick it off with a little late-night hoops. Marquette's men's basketball team hosts the 19th ranked team in the nation, the St. John's Red Storm.
The Ash Wednesday head-to-head begins with a defensive battle, but second-year guard Josan Sanan powers home a dunk to give the Johnnies a boost.
And Marquette's Royce Parham tacks on two more. Nigel James Jr. and Royce Parham have made one heck of a duo in recent games, and they continue their success in finding points both in the paint and beyond the arc.
Marquette explodes out of halftime, leading by 6 points with just under 12 minutes to go.
Chase Ross gets this tough midi to fall.
But St. John's is highly touted for a reason.
Preseason All-Big East forward Bryce Hopkins gets a triple deep to gain the lead for the Johnnies.
That three is a sign of things to come as St. John's finally pulls away from the Golden Eagles.
Marquette gets a couple more trays to fall from downtown, stretch the lead, but can't bridge the gap.
It's close, but no cigar for Marquette.
A 76-70 final, the Red Storm roll home happy.
After the St. John's win over Marquette, head coach Rick Pitino had this to say about Shaka Smart's Marquette program.
So the fact that Marquette is losing and their players are getting better and they never give up, that's a sign of a great coach because their players are getting better. It's very easy to feel sorry for yourself when you're losing, but this team won 3 out of 4 on the road. Had Villanova beat at Villanova, was an excellent team. So you don't look at records. Obviously, I don't have to tell you how good Shaka is. You all know that. But his players get better. They all get better, and that's, to me, a sign of a great coach.
Ash Wednesday is the start of Lent, a season of reflection in Catholic tradition. I got an opportunity to look at how Marquette basketball marked the occasion prior to the men's basketball game. Take a look. Ash Wednesday is the beginning of the Lenten season, part of the lead up to Easter. Today, Marquette, and part of its Catholic and Jesuit tradition, dished out ashes across campus at the Church of the Jesu and Weisler Auditorium, and even here at Fiserv Forum. In a space on the main concourse, Reverend John D. Lawrence, chaplain of the men's basketball team, and Reverend Edward Matthey, chaplain of the women's basketball team, led the ceremonies and welcomed all to partake in this sacred tradition prior to Marquette's matchup with St. John's. This evening saw Marquette fans, St. John's fans, and employees of Fiserv Forum being able to take part in this sacred tradition. Part of the season of Lent is the practice of almsgiving, or giving back to the community. And the allowance for this unique opportunity of faith can only be described as such. For Marquette Wire Sports, I'm Nate Bradley. The men's lacrosse team welcomes the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to Valley Fields for a renewal of their rivalry. After starting down 3-0 in the first quarter, the Golden Eagles get 2 goals back from juniors Ethan Salvia and Tucker Mullen to cut the Irish advantage to 1 going into the second.
And early in the second, the Golden Eagles are able to level the game. But the Irish go on a run of their own, outscoring Marquette 5-2 before the end of the quarter.
Before the break, Marquette pulls 2 goals back again, stopping the Notre Dame run. And in the third quarter, it was a back and forth between the two. The Golden Eagles scored 2 goals in quick succession, capping their 4-0 scoring run.
However, the Irish are able to combat Marquette's efforts, ending the quarter up by 2. In the fourth quarter, it was all Irish. Notre Dame goes on a 4-1 scoring run to seal the road win.
The Golden Eagles fall to Notre Dame 16-11. Juniors Carson Brandt and Tucker Mullen each net 2 goals of their own in the effort. Marquette returns to action on Saturday at Cleveland State, starting at 11 a.m. Winding back to Saturday, Marquette's men's basketball team traveled to the Blue Chip City to face off against Xavier.
After a dismal start puts Marquette down 16 at the half.
Well, the Musketeers were absolutely unconscious from deep in the first half. They shoot 11 for 22 on three-pointers in the opening frame to put Marquette in a double-digit hole.
But signs of life still remain for the Golden Eagles. With just over 7 minutes remaining, Marquette rallies back to trail by just 3 points. Major impacts from second-year Royce Parham and first-year Nigel James Jr. lets Marquette stay lost in this fight.
Still, second-year forward Jovan Milicevic crashes in on 3 second-half triples en route to a 23-point performance that holds off Marquette's run. Xavier guard All Right was also massive in the win with 19 points on 75% shooting. Wow, All Right, what a name.
Actually, his legal name is Andre.
Oh, you're no fun.
Well, everything ended all right, Nate, with Xavier's afternoon at the Cintas Center as they defeated the Golden Eagles 96-88. Winding back to Wednesday night, we welcome in a special Golden Eagle Sports Report segment as assistant sports producer Jake Dale takes a lap around Pfizer Forum to find out, do you know that man?
I'm here at Pfizer Forum for Marquette's game day versus St. John's. Let's see who knows Rick Pitino, Al McGuire, and even Shaka Smart. Excuse me, sir. Do you know this man?
No.
It's Rick Pitino, head coach of St. John's.
All right.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Do you know this man?
No idea.
All right, Rick Pitino, coach of St. John's. Red Storm. Excuse me, do you know this man?
Yeah, Sean Miller.
Not Sean Miller.
Tino.
Pitino, it is Rick Pitino. Do you know this man?
The operative. We do not like this man.
No idea.
It's Rick Pitino, coach of St. John's.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know this man?
Nope.
You don't know who he is?
No.
All right, thank you. Do you know this man?
I do.
Who's this man?
Richard Pitino.
Well,
Rick Pitino.
his son, Richard Pitino. Maybe full name, Richard Pitino.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know this man?
Shaka?
It is Shaka Smart. All right, one more. Do you know this man?
He's a coach now, or we just retired him the other game, didn't we? He was like the announcer for Marquette Day. Like we did something for him, right?
This is Rick Pitino, the coach of the St. John's Red Storm. Do you guys know this man?
Al McGuire.
It is Al McGuire. Can I get
win $1 million?
You win nothing. Do you know this man?
Al.
Al. It is an Al.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
His name, Marquette.
He is Marquette. Was an announcer. It's his day today.
Yeah. Lord, what is his name? I'm blanking.
Al McGuire is his name. Do you know this man?
Is that Shaka Smart?
It is Shaka Smart. Thank you so much, guys. Do you know this man?
Al McGuire.
That is Al McGuire. You got it right. Can I get you for one more?
Go ahead, young.
Who is this man?
Shaka Smart. Yeah, say it. Shaka Smart.
It is Shaka Smart. Thank you so much, guys.
Where's my prize?
No prize.
No prize. Sorry.
Coming up next on Golden Eagle Sports Report, the #1 team in the nation travels to Milwaukee.
Plus, we break down the women's lacrosse team's early season success.
Stick around for all of that and a whole lot more after this quick break.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
day, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Brian Wilson.
And I'm Nate Bradley.
A women's basketball powerhouse and Big East rival make their way to Milwaukee. MUTV General Manager Adrian Fraga brings us more.
The number 1 ranked UConn Huskies come rolling into town to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles. Senior guard Jada Mason takes off, scoring the first 5 points for Marquette, establishing an early lead. A rare sight to see, the Huskies struggle early. That is until graduate guard Azzy Fudd knocks down the open 3. And it doesn't take too long for UConn to claw back into the game and steal the lead, something that the Huskies would hold on to the rest of the game. But the theme of the game is grit, and Marquette shows theirs off. The Golden Eagles are able to tie the game at 20 with 5 minutes left in the first half. But the number 1 team responds with a 14-2 run, playing traditional UConn basketball. The Golden Eagles refuse to go out quietly and take whatever they can get. But UConn goes on to take the win, beating Marquette 71-56.
The Central Michigan Chippewas women's lacrosse team traveled west to southeast Wisconsin to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles at Valley Fields. It was a quick spur of goals for the Golden Eagles. They had 5 different goal scorers in the first period, but before Marquette knew it, their lead slipped down to a 2-point margin.
The Chippewas scored 3 goals in the final minutes of the first stanza. The second period stayed tight with a combined 4 goals, 2 by each side. As the second half started, the aggressive offense that we are accustomed to seeing started to kick into gear. The attack is led by first-year attacker Danny Serrano. The Maryland product set a first-year player record with 9 points in the match, which is 3rd highest in program history.
Serrano had 6 goals, 3 assists. She has accumulated 10 goals and 17 points in her first 3 career games, including 4 straight goals in the third period.
Tess Osborne also added 5 goals in the match. Osborne has scored at least 4 goals in the first 3 matches, which is the best 3-game stretch of goal scoring in her career.
Marquette defeated Central Michigan 19-6. The Golden Eagles improved to 3-0 for the 2nd straight season and only the 3rd time in program history.
Marquette has been a wagon offensively as they've scored 56 goals in their first 3 games, the 2nd most in a 3-game stretch, only behind 57 goals in 2023.
The Golden Eagles will now go on a 4-game road trip before they return home on March 10th.
On the topic of lacrosse, the women's team has had such a great start to the season. And Brian, you've been to every lacrosse game this season and have some great insight on what has led to this success we've seen so far.
Yeah, there's just been a lot that has been going right so far. They had their 3 matches against Cincinnati, Central Michigan, and Eastern Michigan, and 2 of the big stars of those games were 2 of the people we just talked about in that last segment, which was Tess Osborne and Danny Serrano. Danny Serrano is our first year with the program, and she has really kind of picked up a lot of slack that we knew there would be scoring that would leave the program as seniors graduate, just like every year. And she's been really someone who they can rely on, but it's also the team themselves. They know how to pass the ball, and just it's those hockey passes we talk about in a lot of sports. It might not be your pass that leads to a goal, but your pass might be to the other person, their pass might lead to that goal. And that was something when I talked to Tess Osborne after the Eastern Michigan game, that was something she said. It was like, we're more happy for the assist that we have for goals than we have for our own goal scores.
Absolutely. As we talked about in the previous segment, it has been an avalanche of scoring for the blue and gold this season. What has led to the success on the offense this season?
Yeah, I think I touched on it a little in the previous question, but Danny Serrano, just when you have a freshman come in and be able to just have the attack and have the tenacious way you play offense, and that's something that can really pick up your team. And Tess Osborne, being that senior, is someone who has really played a big factor. She has been scoring a lot, and when you have 56 goals and you're one shy in that a three-game stretch of a program record, that just kind of tells just the story when you just look in the box sheet. But it's if you go and watch these games, you really see kind of the continuity between these teams. It's a sisterhood, it really is, and they're happy when their sisters are able to go get goals.
Absolutely. Marquette, going into the season, the Golden Eagles lost first-team Big East attacker Meg Byerly, who has been, and my question for you is, who has been able to help fill these shoes for the Golden Eagles?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit, and that sounds like a broken record, but these are the two players that have really been the biggest impact for this team. And I can say Tess Osborne to answer this question just because you were a junior last year, Meg Byerly graduates, now you step into the shoes as that senior leader and just being able to make the difference and lead a team. Because ultimately, when seniors leave, obviously when you have the talent that Meg Byerly has, you're going to lose some of that. But I think a lot of people underestimate the leadership that leaves when you lose a big-time player. Meg Byerly, like you mentioned in the question, was a Big East first team all last year, and that's not the first time that she's got that. And I think this team is building something that you have a lot of youngsters who can make an impact down the stretch in a tough conference. That you have a ranked Denver, you have a Northwestern that you're playing tomorrow. So this is something that you're going to need, that scoring, but you're also going to need that leadership, because if you're not able to be able to get over that mountain against a top team in the country and a team that's going to be competing for a national title, now this is how you learn from it.
For sure. Marquette was picked 5th in the Big East preseason poll, only ahead of Butler and Xavier. But the Golden Eagles have won 10+ in 2 of the last 3 seasons, including 15 in 2023. How can they get to the 10-win threshold again?
I think it's just being able to share the rock, and also it's win those draw controls, because that's a big difference when it comes to lacrosse. Because if you don't win the draw control, you're already on the defensive side, and you have to try to stop, obviously, the other team. And then when you win it, you have a quick start on the advantage. And when I talked to Coach Black after that Eastern Michigan game, that was a big thing. She said, we need to be better on the draw controls, because when we are behind, that's when we foul a lot. And there's a new rule actually this year in women's lacrosse, is they're calling a lot more green cards, and those are kind of they're a 1-minute penalty. So you see kind of in hockey you get a 2-minute power play, and there's a lot of in lacrosse now, there's a lot of these 1-minute power plays, you can say, and you would go a woman up or a woman down. And I think when Marquette is able to go that woman up, they are very good, and and that's something that they've been very successful at in these last 3 games. But the problem is, you have to continue to do that. You're going to play tougher opponents. Nothing against Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, and Cincinnati, but those aren't the top tier teams you're going to be playing this year. And you have to be able to, when you do get fouled, and you have to go to the box to be able to defend when you're on the disadvantage. And in hockey, you would call it on the PK. Of course. And just you have to be able to find a way to score that way. So
Marquette now goes on the road for a 4-game road trip. How do the Golden Eagles take the momentum of playing at home, and taking it on the road?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to win that draw control early, and you're going to have to be able to hope that you can go on that advantage, because a lot of the goals that Tessa Osborne and Danny Serrano have been on the advantage. So that's a very important thing for them to be able to get those extra points, steal those possessions like you would in hockey and not like you do in lacrosse.
Well, thank you so much, Brian, for your insight. Now it's time for a Golden Eagles Sports Report staple, the weekly awards. Kicking off the honors this week is who else but first-year guard Nigel James Jr. of the men's basketball team, who is this week's MVP and rising star. While Marquette went 0-2 on the week, NJ continues to shine. Against Xavier, the first year recorded 30 points and 12 assists. And in the next game, NJ scored 25 points in the loss versus St. John's, making him an easy choice for both MVP and rising star.
And now our team of the week is the team we just talked about, the women's lacrosse team. They only played 1 game this week, but won big at home against Central Michigan, 19-6. That win now moves the team to 3-0 on the season up at the top of the Big East with Denver. And now looking ahead to the action happening here in Milwaukee for Marquette this weekend. Starting us off is the women's lacrosse team, who travel south to Evanston, Illinois to play the number 4 team in the nation, the Northwestern Wildcats.
The women's lacrosse team is currently undefeated and is led by senior attacker Tess Osborne. Osborne ties the team lead in points with 17 and leads the team in goals scored with 13. That game starts this Friday at 7 p.m.
More lacrosse, but this time on the men's side as they travel to Ohio to play Cleveland State University. The team is currently 0-2 on the year and look to get their first win of the campaign. The Midwest matchup starts Saturday at 11 a.m.
Now in basketball, the women's team heads to Villanova to play the Wildcats. Marquette is coming off a loss against the number 1 ranked Connecticut Huskies. They look to bounce back this Sunday at 2:30 p.m.
Coming up in other sports, Marquette basketball finally using the portal?
Plus, how will Adam Silver put an end to tanking in the NBA? Find out more after the break.
Welcome to Marquette. We're going to head towards the Welcome to Marquette.
When you arrive ready for something good, you'll leave connected to something greater. Marquette University.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Hello, and welcome back to Studio 7 as we discuss tanking in the NBA and recent news coming out of Marquette. We have a lot of stuff to talk to, so let's get started. Marquette Wire executive sports editor Jack Albright asked head coach Shaka Smart in the post-game press conference last night about his openness to adapt in a crazy college basketball world. This is what Coach Smart had to say. Take a listen.
As we talk about evolving, that's one thing that as we evolve does not change is our biggest emphasis is the really talented, high character young guys on our team, retention of them. You know, that's the most important thing. But then certainly around them, you know, we have to look at what's best for Marquette basketball and our roster. And I'm actually excited about that. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, how we can continue to, you know, improve our team in different ways. And obviously we've got a lot of data, you know, based on this season with the guys that we've had and what we need and who we need to become.
Shaka talked about there how important it is to adapt and focus on building around this young core, led by Mr. Box Office himself, Nigel James Jr. Now that it seems inevitable that Marquette will dip their feet into the portal for the first time in 4 seasons, where does the blue and gold go from here, which is lining up to be an eventful off-season? I'm Brian Wilson. Joining me on the panel tonight is Nate Bradley and Zach Pomainville. Zach, we're going to talk about you and kind of just Marquette's going to the portal?
Marquette should go to the portal. It has to go to the portal, right? This is a new world. We have to adapt. I mean, when Tyler Kolek came in about 4 years ago, came in as a sophomore, and with 1 year, he joined a bunch of freshmen coming in. That core group of Stevie, Joplin, and of course Cam Jones, right? He brought energy to that young team and taught them how to win, and that's what we need to get. What I would really like for Marquette is honestly to just keep this young core, but add some veteran shooters and some veteran finishers because, I mean, we have all the pieces. We just can't get it together. We can't win a game.
Absolutely. I have to agree on this one. Marquette has built their great teams off of the portal. Let's start with, like you said, Tyler Kolek and even Olivier Maxence Prosper. Those two came from sitting on the bench at George Mason and Clemson, respectively. And you know what that led to? That next season, that 21-22 season, it led to Shaka Smart's first NCAA tournament appearance with the Golden Eagles, and it led to that another year, 22-23, it led to a Big East title in both the regular season and in the Big East tournament, and one of their greatest seasons in program history statistically, and a good run in the Division I basketball tournament. But Marquette has proven that they can utilize the portal under Shaka Smart. And I feel like it is absolutely necessary in today's age in college sports, especially with NIL, to build around what you have and try and get more players to come in. A program like Marquette, with its storied history, is an absolutely great place to come if you're a transfer.
Yeah, the thing I want to point out was something on that graphic was that the portal has turned into kind of some free agency since they changed the portal rules in 2018. And is that something you kind of guys are scared about? Because what we didn't hear in that clip was something else that Shaka talked about, which was really just the poaching of other players. And that's when you have a star like Nigel James Jr., is that something that you're scared about if you're Marquette, about making sure he doesn't get taken for someone who's probably could play anywhere?
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, he's got to be on the top of, like, we can't let him go out of all the players that we have, right? Royce is also on that kind of level. What I would say is it is interesting because Marquette kind of like, their recruitment style is basically, the three things, right? Relationships, growth, victory, right? And I think that the thing that is special about Marquette is that a lot of people or a lot of players coming in, they don't come here because they think they're going to start instantly and be an iconic player. They're more in it for, I'm going to start low and I'm going to succeed because I have the tools around me to succeed.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Another thing I'd like to talk about is just how Marquette is just building a culture, like you said, off of relationships, growth, and victory that you can't find anywhere else in the country, especially during this day and age. Shaka Smart's philosophies, even though he's like, oh, I want to develop, I want to do this. Sometimes getting a player who may have not gotten a chance at their previous school and developing them from where they're at to a level even higher. Shaka Smart talked about this many times during Tyler Kolek's time here at Marquette. He started who was barely starting at George Mason, and then he transferred here to Marquette, and he just kept going to the next level and the next level. And Shaka Smart even said, his senior season, we didn't even know if he was going to go to the NBA or not. That just proves what Coach Smart's philosophy is here and how Marquette is being able to build off of it.
Yeah, I think those are really good points, and I think there should be a new philosophy: relationships, growth, victory, and portal. Moving on, this weekend for the semifinals of the men's hockey Olympic tournament. It will be underway. The United States are facing Slovakia in the semis, and Canada will be facing Finland. With all of the hype in this tournament, will the U.S. and Canada eventually meet in the gold match, or will we have to wait for that discussion in 2023? And a big thing is Sidney Crosby will not be playing in that semifinal for Canada, which is a huge loss for them. I'm going to start with you, Nate.
Absolutely, I agree. Crosby not playing in this game will absolutely hurt Canada's abilities to try and get into that gold medal game. It's cinema if we think about this. A United States versus Canada final for a gold medal. I mean, we've seen this before. We saw it in Vancouver in 2010. Even last year in the Four Nations in Montreal, we saw how aggressive these two teams are when they face each other. And it would be to the utmost benefit of both the Olympic Games and the sport if these two teams were to face off against each other. Both of these teams have NHL talent. This is the first time since 2014 that they've allowed NHL players back in Olympic ice hockey. So this is great for the sport. It's great for international exposure, and this honestly would be probably one of the most highest viewed games of all time based off of history.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year, right? The the League Nation, whatever final thing between, Four Nations, thing that the NHL held. I mean, it was great. It was great for the sport, and it was a worldwide phenomenon, right?
Absolutely. Something
that the hockey world hadn't really seen before. I think that both these teams are basically in a crash course again to rematch. I mean, they're both the only teams that have won all their games. Canada has been dominating teams offensively. The U.S. has been dominating teams defensively. They probably won probably their hardest defensive matchup against Sweden. I think these guys, they're on a crash course, and hopefully the U.S. will pull it out this time.
Absolutely. I mean, let's talk about this as well. Like, this has been quite the tournament we've seen so far, just from everyone as well. Like, you've seen teams like Czechia with Martin Necas playing as well, and
Pasternak?
Yeah, David Pasternak as well. I mean, all these guys are doing absolutely brilliant, representing their countries, and it's refreshing to see NHL talent back in the Olympics. Like I just said, it felt like it was just missing back in Pyeongchang in 2018 and Beijing in 2022 as well. It's really great to have these guys back.
Before we go, hot take, neither team are going to the gold medal game. Thank you for the great discussion. We're out of time. Tune in next week for all of our coverage of Marquette sports and more. I'm Brian Wilson. That's Nate Bradley. That's Zach Mainville. Good night, Marquette.
You can't throw that in the end.